Hi, my name is Audrey Bauer, and I'm going to be explaining anxiety in teens today. Did you know that 31.9% of teens in today's world are affected by anxiety? Most people don't realize that anxiety affects pretty much everybody, between something being small and something being big. It can be something as small as a homework assignment, or it can be something as big as somebody mourning the loss of a loved one or someone that they're close with. There are a wide amount of different anxiety disorders. Most people just get normal stress anxiety from certain things that they do, but there can be stuff like PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and that normally comes from veterans being in the war, seeing things that most people do not see, such as multiple injuries, gunshot wounds, all kinds of things related to that. And there's also social anxiety, which can be from being around multiple people at a time, not feeling safe, feeling overwhelmed with all the people, and feeling stressed that people are just watching you and talking about you, all kinds of things like that. There are certain phobias, like people can get nervous to do public speaking, people can get nervous going to school because they're worried about others looking at them and what they will think about their appearance. There can be things like OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, and that can be like everything has to be perfect and in a certain way. Some people have to count how many times, as an example, how many times they flip a switch, because if they don't do it that amount of times, then they will feel unsafe in their environment. And in order to feel safe, they need to do what they have to do, and not many people understand it. There's also separation anxiety, which can come from being close to a loved one, such as a significant other, family member, a friend, a role model, whoever it is. When you're away from them, you feel like you aren't safe and nobody around you is safe. And if you're with a person, that's the only time that you can feel safe. So there's questions that could possibly be asked, such as, why has anxiety grown in teens? This can be because in today's world we have social media, and that is a big role in anxiety and stress and depression today, because everybody judges everybody on social media. Between looks, the way people act, the way people talk, all kinds of things add up to that. There can be a high amount of pressure from school assignments or work or sports, all kinds of things. People can feel it from their parents, people can feel it from teachers, peers, their boss. They just want to make sure that they do everything right and not upset anybody, and that sometimes have hard time doing that. And a lot of people get overwhelmed. I'm one of those people personally. I get overwhelmed very easily with schoolwork if I don't understand it, or at my job if I work in hospitality. So if it gets pretty busy, I get pretty overwhelmed and want to make sure that I'm taking care of multiple people at a time. And a lot of people think that the world is a scary place because of all the judgments and accusations being made against them or against other people that they may know. And there was also the COVID-19 pandemic that scared many people, and whether they had a loved one that had the COVID and had passed away from it, or they were too scared to leave the house. Another question could be, what can people do to aid their anxiety? You could go and see a therapist. Many people think that seeing a therapist could show weakness or showing that like they can't help themselves, when really it's just a place where you can talk and be safe, and they keep everything that you say to themselves because that is their job. You can also exercise. Exercising can produce endorphins in your brain, which is basically the happy chemical, and make you an overall happier person. You can also try breathing exercises such as deep breathing and meditation. These are basics, but a lot of people seem to use them to help. And one thing that I try is journaling my thoughts down, because when I do that, it just releases everything and makes me feel calm, and it gets my stress out onto a paper without having to explain my issues to anybody. Another thing that you could do is talking to your loved ones, such as your parents, guardians, friends, significant other, a teacher, anybody that you need to talk to, you can talk to, anybody that you can trust. And the sources that I used today were the National Institution of Mental Health website and healthychildren.org. Thank you.